What were some of the most interesting takeaways from Heath's NFC projections? We'll talk about it on Fantasy Football Today in 5. All right, here we go. The rookies are where we're going to start and end here because they're not always so easy to predict and project. Kyle Pitts, the hottest topic in fantasy football, perhaps. How did you go about projecting him?
I basically hate him because I've only projected him for 62 catches, 809 yards, and 5 touchdowns, which is also one of the best rookie tight end seasons ever, but way below where everyone else does. It's a completely a lot of unknowns in that situation. I do think they will split him out wide. I also think Arthur Smith's system is a multiple tight end system. So I've got 150 targets going to the tight ends, but I have 60 of them going to Hayden Hurst, who I think is still going to be involved, especially with Russell Gage being the number 2 wide receiver there. I have him very efficient on a per target basis and really on a touchdown basis, considering his quarterback, Matt Ryan, has been below 5% touchdown rate more often than not. And I've got Pitts closer to a 6% touchdown rate.
So let's go to the Eagles and Devontae Smith. I think the question that I want to start with is, what do you think about Jalen Hurts? Is he more Lamar Jackson or more Kyler Murray? Because there's a big difference in passing yards between those two outcomes.
I have him more Kyler Murray than Lamar Jackson. That's not necessarily a Jalen Hurts thing as much as it is that I've not gotten any indication. The Ravens have been completely unique with designing this offense completely around Lamar Jackson and running an offense unlike anyone else. I've not heard anything suggesting that's what the Philadelphia Eagles are going to do. They don't have coaches that have done that in the past. So I have them projected for a more traditional NFL offense. I still have them running the ball 150 times, but I have them throwing the ball 550 times as well.
And so Devontae Smith, is he the clear-cut number 1 option on the team?
I don't believe so. I've got him at 119 targets. I actually have Rager at 114 and Dallas Goedert at 102. So those 3 are all pretty close. Now, Smith could certainly do enough to earn more than that. He's the most talented wide receiver, but he's still a rookie wide receiver.
All right, and we got rookie quarterbacks hopefully making a fantasy impact soon, and that's the Bears and the 49ers. So how do you go about projecting a team where we don't even know who the quarterback's going to be?
What I try to do is project the team with the quarterback who I think is going to start the most games. I think it's more likely that Justin Fields takes over for Andy Dalton earlier than Trey Lance takes over for Jimmy Garoppolo, for a couple of reasons. One, Fields is a more polished prospect, and 2, Jimmy Garoppolo is more established with the 49ers than Andy Dalton is with the Bears. I also think it's more likely that the 49ers stay in playoff contention, which makes it less likely to make a quarterback change. Whereas the Bears, once their season's over, it's easy to go to Fields. So what that means is there's a lot more running back or quarterback runs projected for the Bears than for the 49ers right now.
Is this a good thing for Allen Robinson? This potential switch to Justin Fields, or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing because, like, as much as we want to paint Justin Fields as a running quarterback or an athletic quarterback, whatever, he was a remarkably accurate quarterback in college. And so I think that he will be no downgrade for Allen Robinson at all. In fact, I think the second that he steps on the field, he's the best quarterback Allen Robinson's ever played with.
Yeah, and I don't know if you agree with this, but the rushing, it's like Fields might be more like Dak Prescott. Lance might be more like Kyler Murray.
In terms of, like, Fields is going to have rushing touchdowns, but not necessarily as many rushing attempts.
I wasn't thinking about the touchdowns, but just in terms of yards, Fields is not Trey Lance when it comes to rushing ability.
No, but he's actually, I think, more like a low volume Cam Newton, because he runs dudes over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But Lance is like 1,000-yard rusher,
Right.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be that in the NFL, but yes, he will run more, I think, than Justin Fields.
That's it for Fantasy Football Today in 5. Make sure you're following us on Spotify and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. And also tell your friends, let's get this podcast growing here. It's an important time. People need their quick fantasy football information when they wake up in the morning. So this is the podcast for that. And for Heath Cummings, I'm Adam Azer. We'll talk to you tomorrow.